Are you tired? Tired of promises in a bottle that lead to nothing but an empty wallet? You walk down the vitamin aisle, and you see it shelf after shelf of supplements screaming about male performance, virility, and potency. You've probably tried a few. Maybe you felt a tiny flicker of something. Or more likely, you felt absolutely nothing, except for the quiet sting of disappointment. What if I told you that most of what you've been sold is a carefully crafted illusion? What if the multi-billion-dollar supplement industry is banking on your hope, selling you vitamins that, for the purpose of restoring erections, are completely useless? My name is not important. What is important is that for the last 2 decades, I have been a men's health coach specializing in natural vitality solutions for men over 50. I've worked with thousands of men, CEOs, retired construction workers, grandfathers, and they all come to me with the same frustration. I'm doing everything right, I'm taking the supplements, but nothing is changing down there. The truth is, your body doesn't need a cocktail of 20 different exotic herbs. It needs a few specific, fundamental keys to unlock the door to powerful blood flow and hormonal balance. And today, I'm going to give you those keys. In this video, we are going to do something radical. First, I am going to expose the 3 most common scam vitamins, the ones that are a complete waste of your money when it comes to erectile health. This will save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Then, and only then, will I reveal the 3 scientifically proven vitamins that actually work, the ones that form the foundation of restoring the firm, reliable erections you remember. One of these vitamins is so critical, yet so overlooked, that I've seen it change a man's life in less than a month. So, put your wallet away, lean in, and prepare to unlearn the lies you've been told. Your journey back to confidence starts not with buying more, but by understanding more. Let's begin with the money wasters. The first one will shock you. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. The first vitamin that is constantly marketed for men's health but does next to nothing for your actual erections is vitamin E. Yes, you heard me right. That classic antioxidant you've been told is good for everything from your skin to your heart is, for our specific purpose, a diversion. Supplement companies love to put it in their male enhancement formulas because it has a good reputation as a general health booster. They can list it on the label and you'll think, oh, that's a good one. I know that one. It's a marketing trick. Let me tell you about Richard. Richard was a 68-year-old retired accountant. He was meticulous. He did his research, or so he thought. He read a few online articles, saw vitamin E mentioned for circulatory health, and started taking a high-dose supplement every single morning. He was convinced it was the scientific choice. He spent over $40 a month on a premium, all-natural vitamin E complex. 3 months later, he was in my office, more frustrated than ever. I don't get it, he said. I'm taking 800 IU of this stuff every day. I should have the circulation of a teenager, but I feel nothing. Absolutely no change in my erections. Here's the simple science of why it didn't work. While vitamin E is an antioxidant, its role in the specific mechanics of an erection is incredibly minor, almost non-existent. An erection is primarily about one thing: massive, rapid blood flow. This is controlled by a molecule called nitric oxide, which tells your blood vessels to open wide, a process called vasodilation. Vitamin E does not directly boost nitric oxide production. It doesn't relax the smooth muscles in your arteries. It doesn't directly influence testosterone, the hormone that governs your libido. It's like trying to fix a car's flat tire by polishing the windshield. You're working on the vehicle, yes, but on the completely wrong part. The studies often cited by supplement companies are vague, referring to general vascular health, not the specific powerful vasodilation needed for a firm erection. Richard had fallen for the classic trap of confusing good for general health with effective for a specific, acute problem. He was polishing the windshield while his tires were flat. We took him off the expensive vitamin E, and I asked him to use that money on something that actually addressed the nitric oxide pathway. The change was not immediate, but within 6 weeks, he started to notice a return of warmth and sensitivity he hadn't felt in years. He wasn't just healthier in general, he was targeting the real problem. Now for the second one. This might seem strange, but it's calcium. You see it in every multivitamin, especially those marketed for men over 50. And while it's absolutely essential for bone health, for erectile function, it can be a neutral party at best and a saboteur at worst. Let me explain. An erection is not about rigidity in the way a bone is rigid. It's about flexibility. Your blood vessels need to be soft, pliable, and able to expand dramatically on command. What happens over time is a process called calcification, where calcium deposits build up in your soft tissues, including the delicate lining of your arteries. This makes them stiff and hard. It's the opposite of what you want. Think of a fire hose. To get a powerful jet of water, the hose needs to be flexible and open. If that hose were slowly turning into a hard, narrow pipe, the flow would be pathetic. That's what excess, unmanaged calcium can do to your arteries. I remember a client, Mark, a 62-year-old former athlete. He was obsessed with preventing osteoporosis and was taking over 1,500 milligrams of calcium a day on top of what he was getting in his diet. He couldn't understand why his blood pressure was creeping up and his erections were becoming weaker and weaker. He told me, "I feel strong. My bones are solid, but my plumbing feels like it's made of lead." The science is simple, but crucial. The process of vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels, is a delicate dance of minerals. While a certain amount of calcium is needed for muscle contractions, an excess of it in the bloodstream, without being properly directed, contributes to arterial plaque and stiffness. It's the mineral that makes things hard and brittle. For an erection, you need things to be soft and expansive. Mark was essentially hardening the very pipes he needed to be flexible. His focus on bone health was inadvertently sabotaging his vascular health. The solution wasn't to eliminate calcium, but to balance it. We significantly lowered his supplementation and introduced other key vitamins, which we'll get to shortly, that help direct calcium to the bones and away from the arteries. Within a few months, Mark's blood pressure stabilized, and he reported that his erections felt fuller and more reliable. He stopped fighting his own body. So, if you're taking a high-dose calcium supplement for your erections, stop. It's not helping, and it might be contributing to the very stiffness you're trying to fight. This last one isn't a single vitamin, but it's the biggest scam of all. The proprietary blend. You've seen it. You look at the back of a supplement bottle, and it lists a dozen ingredients: horny goat weed, tribulus, maca root, and a bunch of vitamins all lumped together under a single heading. Men's Performance Blend, 500 milligrams. They don't tell you how much of each ingredient is in there. It's their secret formula. Let me tell you what that secret formula usually is. It's 495 milligrams of the cheapest, most useless filler ingredient, and a microscopic, ineffective dusting of the ingredients that actually sound good. This is the dirtiest trick in the book. Let me tell you about David, a 65-year-old who came to me with a plastic bag full of bottles. He was spending nearly $200 a month on 3 different proprietary blends. He was taking dozens of pills a day. He was hopeful because the marketing was so convincing, with pictures of lightning bolts and roaring lions. But his body told a different story. He was tired, his libido was non-existent, and his erections were a distant memory. He pointed to one of the bottles. "This one has L-citrulline in it," he said. "I read that's good for nitric oxide." I looked at the label. The entire proprietary blend was 750 mg. L-citrulline was just one of 10 ingredients listed in that blend. The clinically effective dose of L-citrulline to see a real impact on erections is between 3, 0, and 6, 0 milligrams. David was likely getting less than 100 milligrams. It's called pixie dusting. They put just enough in to be able to legally list it on the label, but nowhere near enough to have a therapeutic effect. It's a complete and utter scam. You are paying a premium for cheap fillers and marketing hype. These blends are not designed for your health. They are designed for maximum profit. They prey on the fact that you don't know the effective dosages. We threw out David's entire bag of expensive garbage. We replaced it with 3 individual correctly dosed vitamins. His monthly cost went from $200 to about $30. And for the first time in years, he started to feel a real, tangible change. The fog in his head lifted. The desire started to return. And one morning, he woke up to a surprise he hadn't experienced in a decade. He wasn't paying for a blend anymore. He was investing in a real, biological solution. So, now that you know what to avoid, let's build the foundation. Let's talk about the 3 vitamins that are scientifically validated, affordable, and actually move the needle. If your erections were a house, vitamin D would be the foundation. It is, without a doubt, the single most important hormonal bedrock for male vitality, and millions of men are chronically deficient. We call it a vitamin, but it's actually a pro-hormone. Your body synthesizes it from sunlight, and it's the precursor to some of the most critical processes in your body, including the production of testosterone. Yes, testosterone, that master male hormone that governs everything from your muscle mass and your mood to your motivation and, most importantly, your libido, your desire. You can have the best plumbing in the world, the clearest arteries, but if you have no desire, the signal to initiate an erection never gets sent. Low testosterone is like having a Ferrari with no gas in the tank. Let me tell you about Michael. Michael was 59, worked in an office all day, and lived in a northern climate. He felt gray. That's the word he used. No energy, no spark, no interest in intimacy with his wife. His erections were weak and unreliable because his mind just wasn't in the game. His doctor tested his vitamin D levels. They were devastatingly low. Here's the science. Multiple large-scale studies have shown a direct correlation between vitamin D deficiency and low testosterone levels. One study published in the journal Hormone and Metabolic Research found that men who supplemented with vitamin D3 for 1 year saw a significant increase in their total and free testosterone levels. But it does more than that. Vitamin D also improves endothelial function, the health of the inner lining of your blood vessels. A healthy endothelium is crucial for producing nitric oxide. So, vitamin D works on 2 fronts. It boosts the desire for an erection by supporting testosterone, and it improves the physical ability to have one by supporting blood flow. Taking this in the morning is particularly effective. It aligns with your body's natural hormonal rhythm, the cortisol awakening response, and helps set the hormonal baseline for the entire day. We started Michael on a daily dose of 50 IU of vitamin D3, along with its partner, vitamin K2, which is crucial for directing calcium into the bones and out of the arteries, solving the very problem we discussed earlier. The change wasn't overnight. It took about a month. But one day, Michael's wife called me. "What did you do to my husband?" she asked, laughing. "He's back. He's joking around. He's initiating things. He has that spark in his eye again." Michael later told me that it wasn't just his erections that came back. It was his entire sense of self. He felt like a man again, all from correcting a simple, common deficiency that no proprietary blend would ever fix. Now that we have the hormonal foundation laid with vitamin D, we need to ensure the highways, your blood vessels, are clean and functioning at peak capacity. This is where folate, also known as vitamin B9, comes in. This isn't one of the sexy vitamins. It doesn't get a lot of marketing attention for men's health, but ignoring it is like ignoring the engine oil in your car. It's absolutely critical for cardiovascular health. Here's why. Folate's primary job in this context is to help break down a nasty compound in your blood called homocysteine. When you're deficient in folate, homocysteine levels rise, and high homocysteine is like sandpaper to the inside of your arteries. It scrapes up and damages the delicate endothelial lining, causing inflammation and severely impairing its ability to produce nitric oxide. Think back to Mark, who was hardening his arteries with too much calcium. A man with high homocysteine is actively damaging them from the inside out, every second of every day. Let's talk about Robert, a 64-year-old who had tried everything. He was on blood pressure medication. He watched his diet, but he still had terrible circulation. His hands and feet were always cold, and his erections were soft and fleeting. He felt a deep sense of despair. His doctor had never once mentioned homocysteine. We ran a simple blood test. His levels were through the roof. He was severely folate deficient. The science is incredibly clear on this. High homocysteine is a major independent risk factor for erectile dysfunction. It directly attacks your nitric oxide production. By supplementing with folate, you give your body the tool it needs to neutralize homocysteine, effectively stopping the damage. This allows the endothelial lining to heal, and once it's healed, it can start producing nitric oxide efficiently again. It's not about forcing something to happen with a strange herb. It's about removing a roadblock. You're simply getting out of your body's own way. We put Robert on a high-quality methylfolate supplement, the most bioavailable form of B9, every morning. Taking it in the morning is beneficial because the B vitamins play a key role in energy metabolism, helping to convert your breakfast into fuel and setting a steady metabolic pace for the day. After 2 months, Robert's follow-up blood test showed his homocysteine levels had been cut in half. But the real proof wasn't on paper. He told me, with tears in his eyes, that he could feel the warmth in his feet for the first time in years. And that warmth wasn't just in his feet. Things are waking up, he said. He was stopping the damage, and his body was finally able to heal itself. We've laid the hormonal foundation with vitamin D. We've protected the blood vessels with folate. Now, we need the spark plug. We need the catalyst that makes the whole system fire on all cylinders. That is zinc. Zinc is arguably the most important mineral for the male reproductive system. It's involved in hundreds of enzymatic reactions. But for our purposes, it has 2 killer applications. First, it is absolutely essential for testosterone production. While vitamin D gets the process started, zinc is the key worker on the assembly line. The cells in the testes that produce testosterone, the Leydig cells, require a huge amount of zinc to function. A zinc deficiency directly translates to a sputtering, inefficient testosterone factory. Second, zinc plays a critical role in the conversion of testosterone into its more potent form, dihydrotestosterone, DHT, which is heavily involved in libido and erectile function. It also helps to inhibit the enzyme aromatase, which converts your precious testosterone into estrogen. Yes, you read that right. Without enough zinc, your male hormones can literally be turned into female hormones. Let's go back to David, the man who threw out his bag of proprietary blends. He was a perfect case study. He was likely getting almost no zinc from those fancy bottles. He complained of low libido, a weak sex drive, and a general feeling of being washed out. The science is robust. Dozens of studies link zinc status to testosterone levels. One classic study took a group of young men and put them on a zinc-restricted diet. In just 20 weeks, their testosterone levels plummeted. Then, they took a group of elderly, zinc-deficient men and gave them zinc supplements. After 6 months, their testosterone levels had nearly doubled. Zinc is the fuel and the gatekeeper for your male hormones. We started David on a simple 30 mg dose of zinc picolinate every day. It's important to take zinc with food, so taking it with breakfast is a perfect habit to build. The effect of correcting a zinc deficiency can be surprisingly rapid. Because it's so fundamental to the hormonal process, David reported feeling a shift in about 2 weeks. It wasn't a sudden jolt, but a gradual return of his morning energy and, most importantly, his desire. His mind started sending the signals again. And because we had also addressed his other issues, his body was finally able to answer. He described it as turning the lights back on in a house that had been dark for years. The synergy section. Now, I want you to step back and see the beautiful, logical system we've built. This isn't about taking one magic pill. It's about creating a powerful, synergistic effect where each element supports the others. Think of it. You start your day with vitamin D3. This begins the process of optimizing your testosterone production, turning up the volume on your desire. It lays the hormonal foundation. At the same time, you take your folate. This gets to work immediately, lowering homocysteine levels and protecting the delicate lining of your blood vessels. It's like sending in a repair crew to fix the highways while the foundation is being poured. It ensures the pathways for blood flow are clear and ready. Then, you add the zinc. The zinc supercharges the testosterone factory that vitamin D switched on. It acts as a hormonal amplifier and protector, ensuring the desire signal is strong and clear. Do you see it? It's a three-pronged strategy. Hormonal signal desire, vitamin D, zinc. Vascular health, blood flow, folate, vitamin D. Hormonal protection, zinc. Each one on its own is powerful, but together they are transformative. They don't just put a Band-Aid on the problem, they address the root causes, hormonal decline and vascular damage. This is how you stop fighting your body and start working with it. So, there you have it. The truth the supplement industry hopes you never learn. You don't need their expensive, ineffective proprietary blends. You don't need to waste money on vitamin E or calcium hoping for a miracle. You have the blueprint. The 3 pillars of natural erectile health. Vitamin D3, folate, and zinc. They are simple, affordable, and backed by real science. But this knowledge is useless if you don't act on it. You've stayed with me this far, which tells me you are serious about reclaiming your vitality. You are not the kind of man who just accepts decline as inevitable. So, here is my challenge to you. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't try to change everything at once. Just start with one. The easiest one to start with is vitamin D3. It's estimated that over half the population is deficient. Go to your local pharmacy, get a simple bottle of vitamin D3, 5,000 IU, and commit to taking it every single morning for the next 30 days. That's it. That one small step is a declaration that you are taking back control. If this video has opened your eyes, please click the like button. It tells YouTube that this message is important and helps it reach other men who are being scammed and are losing hope. Subscribe to the channel for more no-nonsense, science-backed advice. And finally, I want to hear from you. Go to the comment section and tell me, which of the scam vitamins were you most surprised to see on the list? Your comment could be the thing that saves another man from wasting his money and his hope. Your health is in your hands. You have the knowledge. You have the power. It's time to start building.